A very good evening, and thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It is a Storm Babette special. Wild conditions are now affecting many parts of the British Isles. We've seen the effects of Babette yesterday across parts of southern Ireland, Cork, and surrounding areas affected severely by flooding. We are now seeing the transfer of all that energy lifting into northern areas of the British Isles. 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, 150 to 200 millimeters of rain, all expected over the next couple of days here. And I endeavour to keep you posted as best I can here on markloganweather.com. I will try and do a separate video looking a little bit at the Copernicus suite of long range models, looking at the winter season, and also talking a little bit about winter generally speaking. So over the next 24 hours, there should hopefully be a separate video, because I get the impression I'm not going to get the chance to do it tomorrow, because we're going to be focusing too much on the impacts of Storm Babette. Before we continue with the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm sitting, as you can see here, at 5,228 subscribers. Massive appreciation from myself to you for your support over recent times, but also going back several years if you've been an avid follower of markloganweather.com here on YouTube, and of course in years gone by on the website as well. But there is a lot of things to cover, like I say, and let's get right to it. This is the current pressure situation here across Europe at the moment here. A little bit hard to see, I get that, I appreciate that, but this is the current pressure chart live at the moment here. So the time is now 20 past 4 in the evening. It's now starting to get quite dark. The winds are blowing hard against the east facing windows of the house here. Also pulses of heavy rainfall, but the focus really is a little bit further south and even north of here in Everton. There's a little bit of sometimes there can be a bit of a rain shadow effect here actually where I'm located. But you can see here a deep area of low pressure at 968 millibars to the southwest of Ireland here. We've got also an area of high pressure close to 1,030 millibars over Scandinavia. And of course we've got this battleground in between. We've also got some fairly mild moist air getting transferred out of the western Mediterranean basin up into the frontal system itself. We've also got some fairly cold air getting drawn around this wheel of high pressure over Scandinavia. And of course, it's not the same, quite different in certain aspects, but a similarity in terms of a frontal boundary getting trapped between two weather systems. And therefore, with with colder air mixing with warmer air, you enhance the precipitable water within the atmosphere, and also throw in orographic lift, and you increase that rainfall all the further here. So this, I believe, was the scene a little bit earlier in Stonehaven in Aberdeenshire here. So right on the coast, pretty wild conditions. It's October, we do get it, but we have had a very significant spell of unsettled conditions in recent months. I have to say that. We've had named storms in August, September, now October. But interesting enough, we've also had a very blocky type situation here. The NAO has been firmly negative. The Arctic Oscillation has been kind of coming and going a wee bit, if I'm being honest. But with that block to the north, a very active storm track displaced further south, but also the warmer than average waters. These are the current sea surface temperature anomalies here of tropical tidbits, and you've got a lot of the storm track coming in from a south or southwesterly direction here. So with a lot of blocking to the north here, as we've seen throughout the summer, throughout the first half of autumn so far. Of course, we've pretty much reached the midway point. We're actually just after the midway point of autumn. It has been wet, and there's some elements of resemblance to 2015. We had a storm, a wicked storm at that, at the end of July 2015 that hit the Dutch coast. This time around, during the early portion of July, we had a very similar type of storm impacting the Dutch coast. We had actually winds in excess of 90 miles per hour affecting the Dutch coast, bringing very widespread tree damage, some property damage, etc. etc. We also seen quite a lot of rainfall during July of 2015. We also seen a lot of rainfall in July of 2023 as well. But August has been reasonably wet. September pretty wet. October dry start in the south, wet start in the north. We're starting to see the increase in moisture. Now, is there any connection between 2015's Super El Nino and the El Nino that we've got at the moment over the eastern portion of the Pacific Ocean? Now, there is a couple of little back and forth with regards to contradiction. Some sources are indicating that the El Nino has actually peaked, and some sources are showing that there's a increase in strength of the El Nino. But incidentally, we are seeing similarities to even the flood situation across parts of the UK that we've seen back in November of 2015, and also, of course, Storm Desmond came in the December of 2015, bringing a record 24 hours worth of rainfall to parts of England. So, of course, we've got the red warnings in place. We've got a wider amber warning for parts of England, more so during the course of tomorrow. So the red warning has actually been updated by the Met Office, and the reason why is because the Met Office has extended that red warning further southwest. If you notice that yesterday it was just to the west of Forfar. Now we're incorporating Brecon, and of course the foothills here of the eastern Grampian. As that moisture continues for multiple hours of a heavy nature coming in from a southeasterly direction, that is an ample direction for maximum amounts of moisture ramming up against the upslope areas to the west of the A90 corridor between Dundee and Aberdeen here. But it's also incorporating Dunkeld, and it's just to the north of Perth. Notice here that pretty much the northern suburbs of Dundee is included, Arbroath, and of course Montrose is included as well here. If we pan out to the further warnings seen by the Met Office here, this is the latest off the Met Office Twitter feed, and you can see here that we've got yellow warnings for rain across a slightly further north. We've got an amber warning extending from that northeast corner of Aberdeenshire all the way down towards what would that be, Fife, and even towards Perthshire, into the eastern portion of the Central Belt, the Borders, and down the spine of the Pennines has an amber rain warning. So that is in effect for Friday, 12 noon till 6 a.m. on Saturday. The red warning, incidentally, actually goes into effect tonight at 6 p.m. and that lasts to midday tomorrow. And of course, the amber warning now in effect through 1800 tomorrow. Northern Ireland's got a yellow warning 3 a.m. tomorrow morning till 9 a.m. Saturday for heavy rainfall. So you can see here the warnings that are in place at this moment in time. So let's have a look at the winds here and see what they're showing. In fact, let's go to the radar and see what's taking place. This is a satellite image, interesting satellite image actually. There's the clear skies underneath that area of high pressure. Not one but two deep areas of low pressure extending from Greenland down towards southwestern Ireland here. Those speckled clouds here indicating colder air getting drafted south off Greenland all the way down to the west of Iberia. And then, of course, with the circulation here to the southwest of Ireland here, quite a nice curl, quite a hook of cloud here with that sub 970 millibar area of low pressure southwest of Ireland here. But what we've got is we're drawing up warm, humid air from a warmer than average western Mediterranean basin, warmer than average Atlantic basin as well. And I think the combination of this warmer than average waters is increasing the amount of available precipitation within the atmosphere, and these areas of low pressure are deepening naturally so thanks to the increased temperature difference between cold to the north, warm to the south here. But also with this warmer than average water temperatures, that is definitely having an impact on these rain events. We've had several systems now drop in excess of 50, 75, even 100 millimeters of rain. 100 millimeters, of course, being 4 inches of rain. Not last Saturday, but the Saturday before. Parts of Scotland seen nearly 200 millimeters of rain. We're going to see more over the next several days beyond the 200 millimeters of rain. This is a pretty significant October. One of the wettest, if not the wettest October on record for Scotland. Yeah, I think we're up there with some of the wettest Octobers that we've seen in days going by. I think that's for sure. But a very interesting satellite image nonetheless here. Let's have a look at the current radar. And you can see here the loop indicating that heavy rainfall driving in off the North Sea. You can see the frontal system moving northwards. And then, of course, as that wind increases from the east, we're seeing all that moisture piling in, especially to parts of eastern Grampian, up into the northwest Highlands, up towards Ross-shire, Sutherland, Caithness. Very, very heavy precipitation taking place at the moment here. Looking at winds here, let's have a look and see a UK version. So this is the UK pressure chart here. And you can see here some pretty low heights actually across the southwest of Ireland here. But there's that squeezing isobars between the high to the northeast, low to the southwest. You've got the strongest winds over north and eastern Scotland at the moment here. Looking at the current temperatures here, not feeling too fresh and not feeling too pleasant, should I say, with all the wind and rain, of course. Temperatures rather subdued across the north. Fairly mild day, upwards of 19, 20 Celsius in the southeast, which is quite interesting here. Then let's have a look and see what the wind gusts are doing here. So these are in kilometers per hour. 101 kilometers per hour in Wick, 105 at Loch Liscarnock, 176. We've had a gust of 112 miles per hour over Cairngorm. Even in Inverbervie on the coast here, we've had a gust of 115 kilometers per hour. So very, very windy conditions across the north, made all the worse by that very heavy persistent rain. Truly miserable conditions across the north of the UK at the moment here. This is the contrast in temperature. Cold air coming down from the north. There's that 1 and 2 areas of low pressure here. So you notice here the digging south of that cold air, reaching all the way down to the Azores. But of course, you've got a very strong jet here ripping in between the two air masses. Then you've got a tongue of warm air over the western Mediterranean that is getting drawn into the system and along that frontal boundary. Look at the difference in temperature. Not quite as acute as it was a week ago last weekend, but you can see here big contrast between southern Scandinavia and even the near continent here. And in between that, that is where the heaviest rainfall will be over the next couple of days here. Talking about rainfall across the north, this is by the time we reach midnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we are likely to see over 100 millimeters of rainfall across some parts of eastern Scotland. By the time we reach the period here, this is early tomorrow morning, we're already well over 100. By the time we reach midnight Friday into Saturday here, likely to be over 200 millimeters of rain. Notice here, 3 cores of heavy rainfall. The northern England, the borders region, eastern portions of Scotland here in particular, the focus being between Dunkeld, Perth, up to Aberdeenshire. Then you've got another area of heavy rainfall as that wind blows westwards over the Moray Firth. You're then seeing that moisture bumping into the hills of parts of Ross-shire, Sutherland and Caithness. So you can see here, England, we have got, of course, a lot of rain to come. More so tomorrow, as that area of low pressure lifts north, we're going to increase the rainfall. So central swathes of England, but the Pennines in particular, easily in excess of 150 millimeters of rain, even 200 millimeters of rain locally in some upslope areas of the Peak District, etc., etc. So a wild situation over the next 24 hours. Like I say, I am going to try and do a video over the next 24 hours looking at winter here. So if you're a little bit fed up of Babette, we will have more content here on the channel here. Lots going on. Stay safe wherever you are. and I'll see you again tomorrow with more. Bye for now.